Bartenieff Fundamentals is the movement method created by Somatic pioneer Irmgard Bartenieff. This video will show the basic 6, part of the Bartenieff Fundamentals. The rock and roll is a preparatory exercise to the Bartenieff Fundamentals. I'm doing the rock and roll here with my feet on the ground, and in a moment you'll see me do the same thing but with legs long. Bartenieff says the rock and roll is to introduce, with a rhythmic foot movement, the connection of the pelvic area to the heel or grounding, and the connection of the two main muscles regulating flexion and extension actions, which is the iliopsoas in flexion and then the hamstrings in extension. I experience the rock and roll as this sort of sine wave, moving through the body, starting from either the heels in a long leg position or the whole sole of the foot in a push when the knees are bent. I'm reading from her book, Body Movement, Coping with the Environment, and she says most of the 6 basic exercises on the floor are simply lifting and lowering, flexing and extending of limbs or segments of limbs or trunk. Concentration is on articulation and internal physiological changes. To get the feel of these functional actions, they're performed with minimum effort and space. So here we have the thigh lift, and there's 2 exercises. And the first one is the pre-lift. And this is all about raising the thigh with maximum efficiency and minimal effort. So you can see the internal rotation at the hip, and then the drawing up of the leg initiated by the knee, the grounding of the foot on the floor, a moment of rest and sensation, and then sliding the leg back out and letting it find its resting place. She mentions initiating this pre-lift with the exhale and intending the heel toward the ischium. So as both legs came up, we'll be moving into thigh lift. And thigh lift is about exploring pelvic femoral rhythm and raising the thigh through iliopsoas initiation, really finding the deep folding of the hip socket. And that is using iliopsoas as opposed to the more superficial hip flexors like rectus femoris and TFL. I also find thigh lift a great way to explore the mobility-stability continuum. So the leg that's being lifted, really working with full mobility in the hip. And then the down leg, slightly pushing the leg into the floor and activating push, helping to stabilize both the thigh, the pelvis, and the spine. And then bringing in the intrinsic relationship between the diaphragm and the psoas. She mentions initiating the thigh lift with the exhale and then lowering the leg back down to the ground with the inhale cycle. Next, we have the Pelvic Forward Shift, which many of us would know as bridge. And she really talks about the pelvic forward shift as a way to mobilize the weight by means of pelvic shift and use of the pelvic floor, and to prepare for forward and backward weight transference and level change. She mentions initiating the lifting of the hips with the exhale, and when bringing the center of the weight up, also taking it forward towards the feet, so that you're really using your standing feet in this pelvic forward shift. When returning to the floor, sensing again that deepening of the hip socket and continuing to feel the connection between the feet and the pelvis. Exercise number 3 in the basic 6 is the pelvic lateral shift. And this is about lifting the pelvis and moving it laterally without any twist or rotation. She talks about lifting the pelvis, initiating support from the coccyx, and then shifting the pelvis on a kind of a straight line. I always think about this as a conveyor belt, back and forth. So here I'm keeping the pelvis up and moving it, and now you'll see lowering it down to the ground on one kind of extreme end of the right or the left, moving all the way through center and lowering it on the other side. The challenge in this exercise is keeping both sides of the pelvis, the left and the right, kind of at an equal height throughout the entire exploration, and getting a sense of the changing kind of articular rotations and support in both the right and the left thigh. Now we're moving into body half. She mentions this is to become aware of the vertical midline of the body, which separates the right and the left sides. And this is preparation for right and left asymmetry. So body half is about bringing the elbow and knee of the same side of the body together, condensing one side of the body while lengthening the other side. And so as I'm moving into each side of the body half, I'm yielding into the floor, taking a moment of rest or pause, checking in and noticing any sensory feedback. So knee and elbow come together, the left side condenses, the right side lengthens. And then coming out of body half, it would be the left fingers and toes initiating back out into space to again find X. There's a connection here again between the head and the tail in this kind of slight curve or shaping towards one side. Inhaling, spoking out in all directions of the X, and then exhale, finding the condensing as body half is expressed. The upper and the lower body are really being explored to move as a unit. So the elbow is not initiating alone, the knee is not initiating alone, but instead it's an upper-lower contribution to the pattern. The next series of exercises will all be based on knee drop. So starting in constructive rest position, allowing the knees to drop to one side, and what you will experience is changes in the foot area of support. So the feet will stay in the same place, but they're going to shift the surfaces in which they're connecting to the ground. Now, the return of the knee drop is something that Bartenieff talks about with detail. So here we have the knees dropping, the knees pulling the pelvis, and it's on the return using the exhale and an anchoring into the hip socket, a reaching with the coccyx as initiation to return back to the center. So it's distal to core and then core to distal on the return. Next we have the knee drop with arm. This will emphasize the diagonal and the lower body spiral occurring within knee drop, and in fact really make that a total body spiral up to the upper body. There's actually a lot that goes on with knee drop, and we have the opportunity to work intimately with the SI joint and the internal and external rotators of the hip. And here we're bringing in the rotation now of the shoulder girdle, as you can see, knee drop with alternating arm. But in the knee drop, I really consider there to be 4 segments in the lower body, 2 kind of legs and then 2 pelvic halves. And so as the legs are dropping to one side, being able to differentiate these different segments as well as on the return. Now moving into knee drop with arm circles. Bartenieff says here that the arm circles are to establish scapulohumeral rhythm of arm, shoulder, scapula, and the control of both internal and external rotation in the arms from shoulder joint. Also to establish a clear diagonal connection between the right upper and left lower, or between left upper and right lower parts of the body for contralaterality. There are a couple of other things that I'm thinking about when adding in arm circles, and one of those is the rolling point of contact. So finding these kind of opportunities for really moving into the floor and sensing where the connection of the body to the floor is in the rotational movements. So here, maybe it's along the skull. And then as I'm returning, a diagonal across the back body. So a sense of the body being almost like sand, so finely tuned as it's moving with the floor and its contact to gravity. Each direction in the arm circle is going to give you different feedback and sensation. And I'm not doing it here, but this is a great opportunity to find places of rest kind of along these different points in the arm circle, especially this long lateral line, one of my favorite places. And then again, that exhaling coccyx initiation, anchoring into the thigh to return back to center. Here then the knee drop turns into a diagonal sit-up, and we have our first transition from a low level to a mid-level. Bartenieff talks about the diagonal sit-up as an initiation from upper body with support from the lower. She also discusses allowing the eyes to follow the hand with a slight head movement, and then also to begin playing with momentum, acceleration, or what she calls sweeping in the circling. There are definitely some kind of very unique timing aspects here in the diagonal sit-up in terms of the sweeping arm overhead. And then you can see the arm that is lower kind of folding the elbow in and using the forearm rotation to either push or absorb the weight back into the floor. This is really the first exercise in the basic 6 where the space configuration really changes in terms of working in the space, looking through the space. And then we've got the diagonal sit-up, the full circle. Now this is a really interesting pattern because it's asymmetrical. It's different from side to side. So the pattern of rising up here is different than the pattern of lowering on the opposite side of the body. And again, there's a discussion on using the eyes almost as another limb in space for support and organization of the diagonal sit-up. And this has been the Bartenieff Fundamentals, the Basic 6.